Welcome back to Aftershock 2016. We are hanging backstage with Stevie James, Alternative Press Correspondent. Stevie, what's going on, man?
Oh, you just got done for the day, so chilling now, man. It's a beautiful thing.
Cool. I seen you putting in work all day. Chris Motionless is like almost 7 feet tall, and Stevie's just, man, he's just knocking those questions out, man. It was cool to see you doing your thing in work. Alternative Press has been, doing it for 30 years now, paved the way for publications like ours. What's it like working for AP and the culture?
You know, I'll say it's pretty excellent because it really is a family. Even after it's been 31 years now, the same person who started at Mike Shea 31 years ago is still the owner. His office is right down the hall from where I operate, so I see him on a daily basis. It's totally a family. It's totally DIY. We're not corporate in any way. We're actually a really small office. There's only about 12 of us in the office, and we have a few people that work outside of, we're based in Cleveland, Ohio. We have a few people that work outside of Cleveland, Ohio, and we all wear a lot of hats. It's truly a DIY mentality, and that's what really sticks out to me is not only, do we get to do these really big things, such as covering festivals, and, we have thousands of subscribers and everything, but it looks so much bigger on the outside. But really on the inside, we're a small, tight-knit group family that we all work together every day. We all have each other's backs. I have no problem going down to grab the mail. I'll grab the mail, I'll distribute it to everyone in the office. And that's just like a small example of just everyone on the team, how we're just all down to do whatever it takes. We'll do whatever it takes to not only for AP, but for each other. And that's what kind of really sticks out to me about it. It's really awesome.
Yeah, I dig that, man. You guys have been so involved in the culture and the scene for so long. You continue to be cutting edge. It's cool to see you guys do your work back here. You guys have, again, done so many interviews throughout the day. We here at rockstardreams.com, we're all about backstories of artists and industry influencers of not necessarily the success itself, but how they actually got there. And you have a really cool backstory because you basically started in the mailroom, more or less,
Yeah.
Worked your way up, man. So we'd love to, for some of our aspiring journalists out there, or even artists, because I know you're in a band in Cleveland as well, we'd love to get your backstory, man, and how everything came about.
Well, first of all, it all comes down to hard work. I played my first show when I was like 13 years old. I'm now 25 years old. So 12 years ago I played my first show, and I haven't seen much success with my own bands, but that hasn't deterred me. I've always continued to work hard. I got the opportunity to work at Alternative Press. It started out as a temporary kind of thing. They needed someone to come in. We have over 40,000 magazines in our back of our office that were just in boxes all over the floor. They needed someone to just come in and build the racks and organize the magazines. Nothing spectacular, nothing glamorous.
Wow, you got promoted quickly.
So I get into that. A few days in, they decide to bring me on full time. A couple months later, the owner, Mike Shea, approaches me and asks if I'd be interested in interviewing bands. He goes, "Oh, you're charismatic. I think you'd be good at this." And at first, I'm like, "Sure, why not?" Not knowing what I was going to get myself into. But it was really awesome. He always showed a lot of faith into me, and especially this guy is someone who has started the company 31 years ago, and to this day is extremely involved. He gave me the opportunity, and when I started out, he was giving me pointers along the way. He was encouraging me along the way, because I'm not a journalist. I had to really kind of learn from nothing. I had to really start from scratch. And the whole way, my first interview was the band called New Year's Day. And it wasn't the best interview, I tried, but there was a lot of kinks. But he was excellent at giving me that constructive criticism, but also that positive feedback at the same time. So he's just a really hands-on, really awesome dude. But ultimately, really what I would say is it's just a testament to not giving up. Right. The reason I took the job at Alt Press is because I love music and because I never gave up on it. And, maybe I haven't had a lot of success as a musician, but because I love music as a whole, I never gave up on it. I kept pushing for it. And I knew taking such a small thing at Alt Press and I'm gonna build the fuck out of those racks. I'm gonna organize them perfectly. It's gonna be beautiful. I came in early, I stayed late. I didn't ask for extra money. I never even brought it up. I went above and beyond. I did whatever I could, blood, sweat, and tears, to do the best job possible. And I believe that had a lot to do with why I got the opportunity to become a correspondent and start interviewing these bands. And that's the biggest thing I tell people. I'm like, if you want to make it in the music industry, everybody does. What's going to separate you is not talent. Everyone's talented. Who cares? what's going to separate you is that work ethic and that never giving up mentality. I've been in the music industry for almost 13 years now, and only the past year has it started to really come together, but I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Yeah, that's an excellent point right there, because I think a lot of people see you on camera, or they see these artists on camera or on stage, and they see the success itself, but they don't see the grind and all the hard work it actually takes to get there. So really appreciate that perspective. And what's next for you guys? Obviously you guys are here covering Aftershock. We got Korn, we got Slayer, we got Tool, we got Primus. Avenged Sevenfold is closing out the show tomorrow. Tell me about this lineup, man. What are your thoughts on that?
Insane lineup, for sure. Every band is out of control great. I'm a huge Avenged Sevenfold fan. I got to see them recently at Louder Than Life in Louisville, Kentucky, and they tore it up. Look forward to seeing them tomorrow. Like I was talking to you before we started this interview, it's kind of bittersweet being back here. I get to talk to all these artists, but I get to see so few of them play. Like I talked to Chris Motionless, I talked to the Pretty Reckless, one of my favorite bands, Avatar, I got to talk to. But I don't get to see any of them play, so it is kind of bittersweet. But tomorrow we do have a lot of big interviews lined up. Well, also today we talked to Anthrax, Scott Ian, which is excellent. I'm a huge Anthrax fan.
That was my first hand-me-down record from my big brother Chad, by the way, so thanks for that, big bro.
Yeah, that's a great hand-me-down record. That's beautiful. So yeah, I got to talk to him, but I didn't get to see Anthrax play, so it's kind of a bittersweet thing. But yeah, tomorrow we have a lot of big interviews lined up. Two people that I'm really fans of talking to is Phil Bozeman from Whitechapel and Eddie from Suicide Silence. A couple guys I got to interview before and hang out with, and we kind of built that relationship. So I look forward to talking to them. And a bunch of other big interviews. I know I'm talking to some of the people from Pussifer, big Pussifer fan. Oh, they're really awesome too. So it's never ending. Whenever I look at like the schedule of him interviewing, I'm like, God damn.
That is a good problem to have.
So
your job sucks.
It does. It's the worst. It's the worst. It is a lot of preparing when you're doing like 10 interviews in a row in a day. It can be kind of, it's hard not to mix everything together, but it is really awesome. But I do want to touch on your earlier point about how, people see you in front of camera and they don't really know what went into it behind the scenes. And one of my friends gave me one of the best quotes ever. I can't remember it word for word, but it's something like, everyone in the world sees your highlight reel, but they don't see the behind the scenes footage. And that's like kind of the difference there is like, yeah, if you see me on camera, if you look at my Instagram or whatever, it's beautiful, it looks great, wow, you have the best life ever. But like you alluded to, it really is a lot of hard work behind the scenes. It's a lot of sacrifice. Like I'm here in Sacramento, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and I love coming out to California, but like what you don't see.
That is a journey.
Yeah, but what you don't see is the 5-hour flight, the 5-hour layover, the 2-hour flight, the waiting an hour for the rental car, the getting the rental car, the going to pick up all these things.
It's not all glamorous.
All these things you don't see, but what you do see is me talking to Chris Motionless. You see me talking to Scott Ian, and it's like, oh my God, you're having the best time ever. And those things are awesome. But at the same time, there is that sacrifice, there is that hard work behind, and that's really important for anyone to understand who's trying to get into this scene. Especially a lot of people want to get in the music industry because they want to drink and they want to party and they want to hang out with the celebrities or whatever. And yeah, that's great. I love that. But if for every, I've said this too, for every 1 minute of awesomeness, there's 59 minutes of hard work and inconvenience and stress. So you got to understand that, and you have to balance that out. It's a lot less glamour than it looks like, but it's worth it. It's totally worth it. I wouldn't trade it for nothing.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We're all in this together at the end of the day, and you'll find the artists work just as hard as the journalists do, the crew, everybody involved here in production to marketing. So it's really cool, man, to see you guys doing your thing.
Oh, yeah.
Alternative Press has been grinding so hard for so long. Stevie James, I feel like you're interviewing me right now. So I appreciate the time, my man, hanging out with our friends from Alternative Press. Stay tuned for more here at Aftershock 2016.